Hi, everybody. Take two of Cassie's Tuesday tip. I'll tell you what, some days living in the country is better than other days. If you were here about 20 minutes ago, you saw my whole internet shut down. But not a problem. I'm back. We're going to do our fun. So I do want to remind you that this is the last week to register for our CCI Love event and get the early bird registration. So you're going to want to make sure that you go ahead and get that done if you would like to join us. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my tip. So we are going to just do something simple. We are going to build on the Cool Shades Fast2Fab pages using the new riveting. And I want to show you how nicely those coordinate. And then I am going to incorporate the 1-inch frame because I oftentimes get questions on how to do that. So I thought it would be a fun thing to incorporate with our sketch. So let's go ahead and hop on over to my desktop while I have internet. Oh. So add this up to the stage and make it the solo. And here we go. Okay. So you probably noticed that the new beautiful Riveting Collection came out, and not every single collection is going to be released with Fast2Fab pages. But what Creative Memories is doing this year, and what is super exciting, is that everything, yes, Debbie, I'm back. Thank you for coming back with me. I really do appreciate it. So what's super exciting is every single collection that comes out that season looks really nice with it. So this is the new Riveting collection. These are the papers. And of course, my favorite, the mats. And as you can look, these colors are going to coordinate very, very nicely with the cool shades. So let's flip through that a little bit. Oh, look at that. All those beautiful papers. We're going to be using them in just a second. So all of these colors are going to look beautiful with the Riveting Collection. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I love to do Fast2Fab and I love this Riveting Collection, maybe you just build a crop cabin too and you want to put that into a scrapbook. Then this is the collection for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Riveting Collection and we are going to use it to build some pages. Now, I'll be using it for the crop cabin, but I also happen to have these pictures of my family working on a puzzle. And so I'll be using Riveting Collection for escape rooms, puzzles, some of the fun things that my family likes to do together. So what I do when I choose a sketch is I go through and I find one that works with the pictures I want. So this obviously worked with the pictures. And then the page that will work. So this page is identical to what was over here. But as you can see, I used this pretty background, but I didn't really want this down here. But it lent itself very well to the sketch that I was using because this covered it up. So when you're flipping through, you can use these background pages. And what's really nice is that I don't have to use another tonal paper under there. I can just build it right on the page. So I always think about that. Like, what am I trying to accomplish? What things am I trying to use? And what things are going to get covered up anyway? So it's not really in my way. So even though I wanted to highlight some green, we have this really cool dining room table that the top slides off and it's a pool table underneath, and we use it for puzzles and stuff. So I want to focus it on that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this. So the first thing I want is a paper that I like. And for this one, I chose to use this dotted one. So let me just pull that up. I got a little bit flustered here, guys. I won't lie. When my internet goes down, it throws me off a little bit. But it's okay. It's all good, right? Okay, so we're going to just do the 1-inch frame first. So I'm going to move this out of my way. And we're going to pop over here. And if you have not done this, it's really nice because, look, it gives you this whole sheet of 10 by 10 paper that I can use for something else later. So that's one of the things I love about cutting the frame out instead of just taping it down and then putting a piece of paper over top of it. And especially when you're using Fast2Fab, because, of course, you can use those papers underneath. So since I want a 1-inch frame, I'm going to measure this over to 1 inch on the side. And remember that our trimmer goes all the way up and down along that line, gives it that nice, perfect 1 inch. And then I'm going to bring this casing down to the 2 inches, which is going to put the cut line at the 1 inch. And I like to measure this way. Some people like to do this way. So if you do this way, then you can watch that white line. But if you're like me and you are an up and down kind of a person, then this is what'll work for you. You put it down at the 1, and then you bring this down to the 2, the front at 2, and then that's at the 1. And then I'm going to, weirdly enough, pull the front all the way down to the 12. And that's going to stop it at the 11. And you're just going to rotate, and you're going to do that all the way around. And it's super simple and super easy to line up. And then you end up with this perfect 1-inch frame. And then you have a 10 by 10 sheet of paper that you can use for something else. Almost done with that. And you can do this for any size frame and pull the inside out. You just have to do a little bit of math. I know. Cassie and her math, right? Okay. So now we're just going to take this frame and we're going to unbury my tape runner. And we're going to put this on screen. And then we're just going to pop over here and we're going to tape down our 1-inch mat. Is everybody else having a good night? We had our square dancing tonight, so that was a lot of fun. Then I got to come back here. Tracy just messaged that she's finishing up the supply list. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, there'll be a supply list there, so you can start getting ready. We wanted to have that done super early this time because we know that some of you are joining us in Florida, and so we wanted to make sure there was plenty of time to get that ordered and get it here. So we are on it. Okay, so now we have our frame around. And then the next thing I did was I just put a border across here because if you look at the sketch, it had a border across here. So you always look at the little elements that you're going to be using and you know what you're going to be covering up. So it didn't matter that this blue was sticking out because I'm putting this border across. So we're just going to take, I'll move this so I can have a nice flat cutting surface. And we'll bring this over. And then you want to switch over to your blade that you're going to be using. So I'm using a Deco blade on this one. So I'm going to come over here, pop open this carriage, pop in my Deco blade, and then I'm just going to trim a little tiny bit off to give myself that Deco edge. You have to remember to do that if you're going to be doing a certain edge on both sides. And then I'm going to measure over to 2 1/4 inches because that's what I did on the other side, and I want them to match up. So then I'm just going to bring this over, back into view. I'm going to pop this right down on my page. Now, oftentimes when I'm working on Fast2Fab pages, I take them right out of the album. You can do it either way. When you take it out, then you can actually put them in whatever order you want, and you can flip them the other way. So if I had wanted that blue to be at the top, I could have flipped it that way, and it just gives you a lot of options. So then the next thing that I did was I just added, if you've not used this little Shutter Love border maker yet, it is my new Cassie favorite. I do absolutely love it. And you will see that in my boxes and borders class coming up. You will see me use that. So if you don't have it, you might want to get it. There are some other camera ones from the past that you could go ahead and use if you want to. But this one's so cute. It has the heart in there. And to me, that's well worth getting a new one. I moved my silicone mat out of the way because all these little tiny pieces stick to it if I don't. It's either that or I could have put a piece of cardstock over top of it and caught my pieces on that. But I just didn't want my pieces to get onto my silicone mat. So we're going to bring this back over. And this is just going to go right down. You know what? I want my heart. There we go. I want my heart to be over here and not the camera. So I'm going to flip it. Repositionable tape is wonderful. You can make that decision after you put some of the tape on. I wouldn't have done that if I wouldn't have made that last second little decision if I had been using regular tape, because that would have not been fun. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to use is this beautiful piece of striped paper. I love it whenever we have these stripes going across, whether they're horizontal or they're diagonal. I think that it gives a lot of character to what you're doing, but I don't want to use it to like do a whole page or something. So I really like to add these into my borders and little things like that. So I'm going to just bring this over to, oh, let's switch back to my straight blade. There we go, back to the straight blade. I mean, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if I hadn't. It would have just been a 1/4 of an inch. I would have had to recut, but nice to remember. And we're just going to cut 2 of these. Okay. And then I'm going to add these on to my border. And they're just going to go top and bottom. And a lot of times you can do some layering and you don't have to cut them quite so small. But see, I wanted the green to show through too. So I just cut the little borders to go above and below it. Uses less paper and it has the borders show through. And then super fun. And that's my border. And then what's really great about the new sketchbooks, hey Judy, what's really great, hey Anna, the new sketchbooks is that the sizes for the photos are right here in here. So it's easy to determine what sizes that you need to cut your pictures to get in there. But if not, you could just use your clear ruler and measure the space in there and decide what you have room for. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you tonight. Really, really simple. Sorry if you were here earlier and you were part of the get cut off, but at least we managed to pop back on and get her done. So I hope you have a great night and we will see you very, very soon in February. Thanks so much.